Cookie here. It's the Pat and JT podcast.
Pat and JT podcast.
It's Pat and JT. It's our podcast. Thanks to Kugler Vision for sponsoring our podcast. We appreciate it very much. It's Pat and JT, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we also appreciate you guys going on our social media and liking, subscribing, whatever you do, wherever you are.
Absolutely. And speaking of Kugler Vision, too, by the way, hopefully in the next week or two, maybe a little more, but Matt Schick, whoops.
I'm going to beep that. I'm not going to edit that out. That's too funny.
Matt Schick's going to be back in town to go to Kugler Vision.
Well, I sent him a message this weekend to get him on our podcast.
Don't tell him I said that.
It was a good try to get him on our podcast anyway. Until right now. Wow. Of all the time you've said that live on the air over the last 15 years, and that never happened.
Never happened.
That's
happened.
Awesome.
I guess I'm letting my guard down a little,
guess
right?
Oh, yeah. Pull that guard back up.
Now let's just see where it goes.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's let it ride.
Oh, that's funny.
We're in Vegas. We're just going to let it ride.
Let it ride.
Play with the
Playing with house money,
right?
Playing with house money.
But yeah, he's going to go to Kugler Vision because he's going to get the procedure done. You know him with glasses. I've seen him with contacts, though. And so he wants to ditch them both, contacts and the
Sounds
glasses.
like a plan to me.
Got the consultation. Just get online at kuglervision.com and you can click on the consultation right there.
And say you heard it on the Pat and JT podcast under other, or if we're on the options, just click it.
Yes.
Because that's great. We just want
let them know. Let them know.
Get that consultation.
Yeah. And by the same token, if you get a chance just to thank them also for supporting the podcast, we really do appreciate it. So it's kuglervision.com.
And I did go in a few weeks ago. Still 20/20 vision, no big deal. And if I wasn't 20/20 vision, probably would not have noticed that I drove next to and commuted by the governor this morning on the way to work.
What?
Pete Ricketts. I've been driving back and forth from Lincoln every weekday morning anyway for the last year and a half.
Yeah. What
time
of day was this?
I can look at my video that I shot and see when it was time stamped. Hold on,
you were driving.
Totally
now you're
driving.
Get in trouble.
5:56 a.m. West Lincoln, and you
were in Lincoln.
In Lincoln, yep, driving to
was
Omaha.
Was he on the interstate?
Yep.
Okay.
Driving on the interstate and well below. I mean, not well below the speed limit, but he wasn't even. He was. It was.
Well, he's a
65.
conservative driver. That makes sense.
Very much. Great American right there. And man, he had his blinker on the whole time. I just felt so good. I love people that blink.
That's how you know somebody's from Nebraska.
They blink a lot.
Yeah.
I looked over and it's like he's Pete Ricketts. He's a completely recognizable face, especially in this state. You look over and like, that's Pete Ricketts. I drove by him. He was in the middle lane, and I drove on the
passed
left
him?
Yeah, I mean, it was a 3-laner, so I just slowly drove by him. It was
on
right
the
left side.
Okay.
So I was looking across my passenger seat and saw him.
You looked over at him?
Heck yeah, I did. Because
look over at people when you pass them? Typically?
But honest, yeah, sometimes, not typically, but sometimes I do.
I never do.
But I just so happened to this time, because out of the corner of my eye I saw the bald head, and I'm like, Pete, and it just looked like Pete Ricketts. It was Pete Ricketts.
You're feeling an affinity.
To the
you
baldness.
didn't think it was You didn't think it was Pete Ricketts.
I'm like, what's up?
I was like, hey.
Haircut man. And I saw him, and I'm like, I just like, oh, hey, that's Pete Ricketts, and went on my way. Because he was behind like a truck that was kind of slowing him down. So he was going like 60, really a lot slower than me.
Oh, okay.
So I got up ahead of him, and then pretty soon I see him coming up. He had gotten in the left lane. I was there and in the middle lane, and he was coming up on my left side.
Right.
And I thought, I'm going to get some video of this. It's Pete Ricketts. It's the governor. I know, blah. So I put my phone, I hit record super early, and I just set my phone like not up so he could see the whole phone. I just pointed it up a little bit, like this high.
Not creepy at all.
Half inch above
Not creepy at all.
But I have tinted windows. Whatever. He didn't see it. So I hit record, and I'm just driving, looking ahead, because I didn't want him to think that I was going, hey, Pete Ricketts, and videoing him, right? So
he's going to wish he had tinted windows.
I know, he didn't have tinted windows, which I thought was crazy, and it was a sweet car.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't have a driver.
That's kind of what I thought, too. But then on the other side, I thought, it's Pete Ricketts. Yeah, Nebraska governor, conservative, right?
Right, yeah. Got it.
And so I have the video, and I was so pumped that I had this video, and I
couldn't wait to see it. As soon
as I got to Omaha, I'm like, I watched the video. I hit play. It was like a minute long because it was taking him forever to get up to me. And I finally get to it, and right when the front of his car comes into view, crystal clear, as soon as his head comes into where I could see it, it like the autofocus is a Democrat. It doesn't want anybody to see any Republicans. and it just
You don't know.
completely fuzzied out.
Could be his version of the Secret Service.
Maybe.
You don't know.
I never
Maybe
thought
he has some
about
kind of
that.
a force field on his car.
I never thought about
So you
that.
can't get a picture, can't get a clear shot. Right?
I kind of want to think that. That's pretty awesome if that was the case.
That might be
So
it.
it's the funniest thing.
Cloaking.
His car just goes right in front of my video camera, and it's crystal clear, fuzzy, clear. God.
Obviously, you had the long lens on. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe.
You were farsighted.
Maybe.
Back to Kugler Vision.
You're right. Take my phone.
Take your phone in.
So I was so disappointed.
Oh my God. Well,
And I contemplated waving, like saying, "Hey."
you're holding your phone and you're driving.
But not at that point.
Okay.
But another point, just acknowledging him to say,
Drive back by him again
Right.
and wave.
yeah.
Too much fun on the interstate.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of driving, City of Omaha made a big announcement this last couple of days. Have you ever seen anybody get a boot on their car? Have you ever had a boot on
I've
your
never
car?
had a boot on my car.
I haven't either.
And I don't know if I've ever seen one. In New York, I saw one, a boot
Yeah.
on a car, but never in
I don't know if
town.
I've ever seen one in town either. I didn't realize this was a
I didn't know they did boots in Omaha.
I didn't realize this was a problem, but apparently somebody
I was
saw it as
arrested for unpaid parking tickets. How do you not know it was a problem? People didn't pay. I got arrested, had like 4 of them, and I was thrown in the clink. So, yeah,
I
it's a
didn't know,
problem.
because they're supposedly after so many parking tickets up to whatever dollar amount, then they put a boot on your car, and then
Sure
if
wish
you get
they'd
it
done that back then. I don't know why they
They did.
realized that was a little overreaction, throwing
You thought
somebody in
yours
jail.
was overkill that they took you in
A little bit.
Did you get fingerprinted?
Yeah, everything. I would give anything to find my mugshot, and
Yes.
because I did get fingerprinted, and they probably have to have records of mugshots
Yeah.
down there.
Once you're fingerprinted, you're in the system
Right.
forever.
So if anybody of our police officer friends
Want to run it? Why don't you just run? What do they call that?
run my tags or
Whatever.
run my
just
run it.
whatever. Run it. On Pat.
All policemen we know, run it.
Just see what you can find on Pat.
Stat 2020.
Yeah, but apparently it's a big enough problem that they needed new technology and updated, and so they've gone with the Barnacle,
Yeah.
and which is kind of interesting. I like I said, I didn't realize that they needed to update, and the Barnacle immobilizes the vehicles that have, again, the unpaid parking tickets, and the parameters are 3.
It allegedly immobilizes them because you could easily Ace Ventura drive out the window. Everybody would see you, but if you don't see a police officer, I'm sorry, a boot is a better solution because you can't drive. This you can drive. You get home, you replace the windshield,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of work. But
yeah, that's a lot of work. But imagine the boot. Maybe part of the deal with this is that the boot, in order to get the boot off, you had to have somebody come back out.
yeah.
To get the boot off. They've eliminated that step. They eliminated the middleman here. And you're right. I mean, somebody, if they wanted to, they could just drive with their head out the window for the rest of their lives with their Barnacle on their windshield. It's like a mat. What's it? Heavy? I don't know. It can't be that heavy, but it looks like it just blocks the entire windshield and it attaches. And then, and this is for people who have over like 3 or more parking tickets totaling over $108. Not
Good
just 100.
Lord.
But 100.
3 or more. So that means there is a situation where you could get 3 tickets over $108.
Yeah. How much was yours?
Oh, I want to say like $12 or $13.
Total?
Yeah. No. Each.
Each?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember. They weren't that much, or maybe $10 or something.
So then when you come out and geez, there's a Barnacle on my windshield.
Because that's exactly going to be your reaction from a 1970s sitcom. Holy crap, it's a Barnacle. No, you're going to be cussing.
Yes, a lot. You see the Barnacle. Well, then you have to call a number that's on the Barnacle. You call the number, they give you a code. Then you punch the code in and it will release the Barnacle. So then you can drive. But then you have 24 hours to then take the Barnacle to a drop-off location within 24 hours. And then you have to haul that baby in front of everybody. God and everybody. Probably make you park across the street even.
Probably.
So you have to cross the street, carry in the Barnacle, and go take it back. That starts today. New parking violation fees also. Here's the prices now. Most parking violations are $16.
Okay.
That's in line with what you thought you paid.
Yeah.
Blocking a fire hydrant, $32. Driving with expired plates, $100.
Okay.
I've seen a couple of those around town too. So anyway, so yeah, the Barnacle I think it's shaming.
Oh, it's total shaming. But maybe it'll be enough to make someone not have parking tickets. There's really no excuse anymore other than the fact if you don't have money or a card, because you can download the app and you get a notification on your phone. You pay through the app and you don't even have to go back. You used to have to, hump all the way down Farnham Street and and put coins in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you weigh, it's like, is it better just to pay $10 or, so this is much easier now. There's no reason not to.
This is true. But boy, if you do push their buttons and make them give you tickets and you don't pay them, meet the Barnacle.
Shame. So if anybody sees a Barnacle on a car today,
take a picture,
please, and send it to us. It's Pat and JT on Twitter, Instagram,
starting
or Facebook.
today. So I'm sure that maybe they've got a few already on their hit list.
Probably.
They were going to go after them instead of putting the boot on. Because now you eliminate that middleman. That's going to be a money saver.
Yeah. Yeah, and the good thing is, it's not like they come out and look for you at your house. If you're parked on the street and they happen to run your tags or you're on another expired whatever meter.
That's true. If they do get you, that's because you probably had another infraction.
Yep.
They aren't coming to look for you.
No, that's how mine was, because I was in another expired ticket thing. Yeah, ticket thing, and they went to run my plates.
So your meter ran out.
Again.
You weren't good at that.
No. I didn't have I didn't have change.
What they do, they come in. Where were you at?
At work.
At work.
Yeah, that's right. I was at work, and I was on the air, and I couldn't, it was sketch.
They came in and got you?
They sure did. Away? Hauled me away.
In cuffs?
Yep. Yep. And I did the stereotypical, guys, I'm not going to run anywhere. Just to put the cuffs on.
Rules are rules.
Yeah.
In front or back?
Front.
Oh, okay.
They walked me right through the front, the studio. Sweet 98 studio. That was back down there with all the windows and lights and everything.
Downtown on 10th Street.
But I worked for the Edge at the time, so it's kind of was a bad thing to do. It's like it upped my cred.
It upped your street cred.
Yep.
So did you get any pictures? Anybody could snap a... Dang it, somebody got a shot of you as you were walking
out. If there were phone cameras around like back then,
everybody had a little cameras. You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody had cameras. Little disposables or...
Yeah, we didn't.
Dang it, that's too bad. That would have been a good
that would have been awesome. So if anybody can find my mugshot, I would love it.
Pat and his perp walk.
I would ask them to please put a hoodie over my head. Like Kanye. I don't want anybody to see. Please.
All right, so one of the things that we had talked about last week was somebody taking a powder in the last few days. We talked about that. And asked for any phrases that you might have if you're curious where they came from. Just because. Or some that you just like to say.
There's one I heard on Big Brother last night, too. And I turned to Beth. I'm like, that's one of my favorite sayings. She goes, I don't think I've ever heard that. And I'll remember it.
Okay.
You probably know what it is. I'll remember what you're saying.
Okay, you think about it.
Okay.
So some of them that wrote in, I just grabbed a handful of them real quick. And one of them was, all that in a bag of chips, for crying out loud, for Pete's sake. So we'll start with, for crying out loud, for Pete's sake. Those are all kind of the same. For crying out loud, for Pete's sake. Some other expressions that are along the same thing. They're like, heavens to Betsy.
Right.
They're what they call minced oaths. And so
minced oaths.
It's basically another way to say, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
Because generally people don't want to say that.
Right. Got it.
This is kind of a lighter version of saying that. And so they throw those they even have this in Oxford's English Dictionary. We don't know who Pete is, for Pete's sake.
Right.
But from For Pete's Sake also came along. This is about a century ago that For Pete's Sake showed up, and For Crying Out Loud and all these others. So apparently that's when, I don't know, people started taking little liberties with their language. But then you had In the Name of Pete and For the Love of Pete that also popped up in the 40s.
For the Love of Pete a lot. For the Love of Pete. Which I don't know who is.
So it's a way
to
not cuss, but have a little exclamation.
Yeah.
So to speak. Hell's Bells was what my grandma always used to say.
Hell's Bells.
Oh, Hell's Bells.
Yeah, my grandma said that a lot.
Hell's Bells, yes. Which Heavens to Betsy came from kind of along those lines. They don't know who Betsy is either.
Pete and Betsy. I wish there was a documentary on who Betsy and Pete were.
And Pete, I know it. They said that people have tried to tie Heavens to Betsy Ross. And also had tried because another one was because they called their guns, wasn't it? Their guns, Old Betsy.
Yeah.
A frontiersman's rifle was an Old Betsy. But there's just no there's no way to tie them all together, it seems. So a Revolutionary War, maybe, I don't know. That leads you to Heavens to Murgatroyd.
Cartoon based, right?
Snagglepuss.
That's right.
On the Yogi Bear show.
I never watched that. I never watched it.
The Ranger.
Yeah, I never.
It
It was. I just didn't
Why
want
my
it.
picnic basket?
Yeah, I never got into it. It just creeped me out. It was just too weird. It just
All he
creeped me
wore
out.
was a tie.
Yeah.
Didn't Boo Boo wear like a vest? I don't remember. I'd have to Google that. I don't remember.
I don't remember that at all.
Huh. Okay. Anyway, so had those. Those came up, and then the other ones, for crying out loud. Oh, All That in a Bag of Chips. Very, very 90s thing to do.
All for One. If you remember the song "She's Got Skills," I don't know if they came up with it there or if they just used it, but that was like early 90s, like 92, 93.
I'd go for that.
Yeah,
I think that's about where it was, because they said it was definitely, it showed up in the 90s, All That in a Bag of Chips. And I think the people that wrote in about it all agreed it's basically your all that and something extra.
Yeah.
All That in a Bag of Chips. So that leads to other 90s phrases or sayings. And I thought we'd just run down a real quick
Okay, that sounds
list.
great. See how
I
many
like
we remember.
these kind of things. Jiggy.
Getting jiggy with it.
Getting jiggy with it.
Thanks, Will Smith.
Will Smith, 1997, Getting Jiggy with It. And apparently, though, the word's been around for quite a while, Getting Jiggy, because you used to dance a jig.
Oh, you're right.
So fidgety is usually what it means, but he made it mean something a little more sexy.
Yeah, he did.
Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it. All That in a Bag of Chips. First off, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, all that was first used to mean impressive in 89. All That in a Bag of Chips, good plus extra.
Clearly, before we started worrying about saturated fat and all this keto stuff.
Well, in the UK, they used it, but a bag of chips was fries. Those were French fries.
Oh, that's right.
Chips. Yeah. Fat. P-H-A-T.
Yep, I remember that.
Is another one, really popular. And actually, it goes back to the 60s. Didn't know that. I thought it just started in the
clue.
90s. Yeah. Means cool or excellent. Being fat. P-H-A-T, fat. Dead presidents. That one's been around forever.
Just money, right?
It's money, yeah, because of the pictures on the money, but it goes back to the mid 40s. Gangsters talking dead presidents, I guess, but the movie came out in 95. Dead presidents,
Okay.
which might have brought it back. Bitchin',
Bitchin' means cool, awesome.
very cool. But it's been around, I guess, for over 100 years, and it even goes back
What
most
could
recently
possibly be bitching in 1903?
bitchin'. In the 50s in particular, it was bitchin'. Was also it was used in Gidget, no less, in the movie.
They said that in
I guess
Gidget?
so. It says they did. It was a bitchin' day too. That was the quote from the
Okay.
movie. The sun was out and all that, even though it was near the end of November. I don't remember. I never saw Gidget.
I didn't either.
Scrub.
Oh, like a loser or a
TLC.
yeah.
1999. No scrubs.
They ain't got no scrubs.
Yep. That was it.
Those scrubs aren't going to get love from them. To translate.
Glad you know the lyrics.
Yep.
Audi 5000.
I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm out the door.
Exactly what that means. Psych.
Joke, gotcha, trick, whatever.
Said it had 3 different meanings in the 90s. Psych out means to be anxious or intimidated. Kim test totally psyched me out. I remember that. That was before the 90s, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't know the timelines on
You
that.
get psyched about something, you're excited about it.
I still say psyched.
Yeah, they said, it's been around since the 60s. And the third one, more obnoxious use, is the psych, when somebody tricks you.
Stupid.
Psych. That was a 90s thing. That was
Yeah.
very 90s. Yeah. So there you go. So there's that. Oh, Cowabunga's on the list too.
Cowabunga, dude.
Did you know anybody?
That's like Bill and Ted's, and they're filming another Bill and Ted's. I think Cowabunga Dude was Cowabunga Dude. Was that Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures?
Bart Simpson.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Bart Simpson and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, Michelangelo.
Unbelievably, originally spelled with a K, Cowabunga, was created for a kids' TV show in the 40s. Howdy Doody Show.
Oh my gosh. Worst. I'm sorry. I don't care if people like Howdy Doody. Worst name for a puppet ever.
And then it was picked up by the surfers in the 60s. The Cowabunga when they were surfing.
Yeah.
And then the Turtles and Bart. Cowabunga Dude.
Got it. I forgot it. Yeah, it was Bart Simpson.
Bart Simpson. Right there for you. So there's
I wish I
that.
could remember what they said on Big Brother last night. It's driving me nuts.
I thought you'd come up with it by now.
I've been racking my brain. It's it was one of those things where you hear it and you're like, it's one of my favorite sayings, and I can't remember what it
terrible
was.
with that stuff. I'm terrible with things
Drives
like that.
me nuts.
Because I'll say things and I'm like, I got to remember that.
Yeah.
And I won't. I got to remember to write it down.
Yeah.
That's what I got to remember to do. But I don't, can't help you there. So, so if you want to add your Whatever your phrase to the list.
Slide into our DMs. It's Pat and JT, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or you can call us 402-403-9478. It's our voicemail. Or you can email us, HEY, at patandjt.com.
Please do.
Pat and JT Podcast. A Parkville Media Production.